Good afternoon, fellow viewers. Welcome back to Easy Mathematics. Today we are still under Strand 1 numbers, and sub-strand 2 is numbers of operation. Today we want to look at multiplication of numbers. Just as we did last week, addition and subtraction. For multiplication 2, we want to look at the methods that we can use, or we will be asked to use during exams to multiply. We have 3 methods of multiplication in multiplication. Today we want to look at this method. We'll start with the first method, named the place value system. Place value system. With the place value system, this is the method that we normally and commonly use when we are to multiply numbers. Now, let's say if we are to multiply 523 times 5 using the place value system is this way, times 5. What we normally do is multiplying numbers this way, we call it place value system. Why is it place value system? Because the numbers are being ranged under its place values. So this one, I'll just take 5, use it to multiply by 3, and I'll record 5 3 is 15. Because I'm having 2 digits here, I'll record the 5 here, and the 1 becomes a remainder. 5 2 10, 11, remainder 1. 5 times 5 is 25, plus remainder 1 will give me 26. So multiplying this will give me 2,615. And this style of multiplying is known as the place value system. Let's look at this last example. Let's say we are to multiply 152 times 21. If you are to use the place value system, you just go by the normal method. This times 21. So you can see that the numbers are being arranged according to their place value system. 152 times 21. The place value of this is ones, tens. That is why we say the place value system. So I'll take my 1, use it to multiply. Come and take 2, use it to multiply. The common way. So 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. So after using my 1, I'll come for the 2. 2 times 2 will give me 4. Now because I'm using the 2 and the place value for this 2 is tens, I have to record my answer at the tens column of this. So this is ones, this is tens. That's why the 4, we start with the answer for this one here. 2 times 5 is 10. So I'm going to record 0, remainder 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus remainder 1 will give me 3. So multiplying this times 2 will give us this. When we are done, we just put the 2 numbers together. Addition, we did addition in our previous video. Because there is no number here, we assume that it is 0. We assume that it is 0. So 2 plus 0 is 2. 5 plus 4 is 9. 1 plus 0 is 1. And 0 plus 3 is 3. This will give us 3,192. So when it comes to the multiplication using the place value system, if the question instructs us to use the place value system, then we have to go by this method. But if we are not being asked, we go by any method. So because we are to use the place value system, we will multiply it this way. Let's look at the second method. The second method is known as the expansion method or the partitioning method. When we say expand, We know what expand is. So you just expand, then you multiply your numbers. So let me say I want to use 523 times 5 to multiply. I'm to use the expansion method or the partitioning method. What do I have to do? I have to expand one of these numbers. 523 and 5. The one I can expand best is 523 because 5 is already in its ones column. So I'm going to expand 523 and this is going to give me 500 plus 20 plus 3. If I'm to expand 5, I will get the same 5. So after expanding the 3-digit number, I'm just going to multiply 500 plus 20 plus 3 times, what am I using to multiply? 5. So times 5. Then we get our equal to sign. Now let us multiply 5 by this, 5 by that, 5 by this. So 5 times 3 will give me 15. Because 5 times 3 will give me 15, I'll record all the 15. So 1, 5. Note, we can take a remainder here, but if you take the remainder, you won't take 1, but rather you will take 10. Why will you take 10? You will take 10 because we are coming to a tens column. And we've expanded. That is why we take 10. So for us to be safe, we will pick or write both numbers. Then we'll multiply 5 times 20. 5 times 20 will give us, if I cover my 0, I'm going to ask myself, 20 covered, or if I cover 0, I'm left with 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. So if 5 times 2 is 10, then 5 times 20 will give me 100. Plus, are we there? So from there, I'm going to continue this way by looking at 5 times this. But don't forget that because we are expanding, we need to add our plus here. So we are expanding. So your answer should look like expanded number. So I'll use this same 5 to multiply 500. If I cover my 2 zeros, I'm left with 5. 5 times 5 will give me 25. I have 2 zeros, so I'll bring my 2 zeros here. After bringing your 2 zeros, you just have to just put the numbers in the equal to sign, and we are going to get 2, 6, 1, 5. And when you compare this to this number, they are all the same. So if you are being asked to use the expanding method or the partitioning method, you just expand the number, multiply, there we go. Now let's take the last example under the expansion method. Let's say we have 624 times 2. We are expanding and multiplying. So I'm going to take my 624 and expand. If I expand this, I'm going to get 600 plus 20 plus 4. 2 has already been expanded because I have a single digit. So I'm going to multiply 600 plus 20 plus 4 times, what am I using to multiply? I'm using 2. So times 2. I have my equal to sign written nicely. And I'll just take 2 to multiply each digit. So 2 times 4. 2, 4, 8. So I'll record my 8. Plus 2 times 20 will give me 40. Plus 2 times 600. Let me cover my 0. I have 6. So 2, 6, 12. So 2 times 600 will give me 1,200. This time, I'll just pick the numbers in the equal to sign and put them together. So 1,200 plus 40 plus 8 will give me 1,248. So when it comes to the expansion method, expand and multiply, just expand your number. When you expand, multiply with what you are using to multiply, then you go straight forward to that. So this is the second method. Let's look at the last or the next method. The next method is known as, or is called, Lattice Method. Lattice Method. Now with the lattice method, it says that we have to look at it in 3 by 2 digits. With the lattice method, we are going to draw a rectangular box. Then we divide it horizontally 3, 1, 2, 3. Then vertically, we are going to divide it 2 times. Now in each box, we are going to draw a diagonal line. So we draw a diagonal line, diagonal line, diagonal line, diagonal line, diagonal line, and another diagonal line. When you multiply, we record the ones column here, the tens column here, the same thing here, we have the same thing, we have the same thing, we have the same thing, we have the same thing. We should note that the O there is ones, and the T is tens. So when you multiply the 2 digits, record the ones column at this side, the tens column at the other side. The same thing applies to the rest. So let me take my first example. I would like to use 152 times 21. We are using 3 digits by 2 digits. So 152 times 21. I should get the same answer because I'm doing mathematics. Different method, but we will arrive at the same answer. So I'm to use the lattice method. The first thing I will do is to draw my rectangular box nicely. After drawing the box, we'll divide the box horizontally 3 times. 1, 2, 3. You get 3 spaces. 3 spaces. So 1, 2. So I have 1, 2, 3. I'll record the 3 digits on top. So 152. Then I'll go by this as 21. So I've been able to get my lattice method. But I have to continue because I need my horizontal line. So I'll draw my horizontal line in each of the boxes. This, here, and here. Now, here we said that we should record ones here, tens here. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 2. 2 times 2 will give me 4. And 4 place value is 1s. So 4. Because there is nothing here, I'll bring 0. 2 times 5 is 10. The ones column, tens column. If I have 10, this is ones, this is tens. So ones column will come in, then the tens column will come in. 2, 1 is 2. So 2, 1. Sorry, there is no number, so 0. Because 2 times 1 is 2. And the place value of 2 or the place of 2 is ones. So the 2 will come here. There is no tens, so I'll write 0. 1 times 2 is 2. 0. 1 times 5 is 5, 0. 1 times 1 is 1, 0. Because there are no tens value for these numbers, that is why we brought the zeros. Now when we are done with this, we have to get our answer. This is not our answer, but our answer will be derived by the addition of the numbers diagonally. So I'm going to add diagonally to the last number. Because there is only 2 here, then in this diagonal I have only 1 negative. I'm going to pick that number and write it below it. I'll come to the next diagonal line. This plus this will give me 9. Move to the next one. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1 will give me 1. I'll move to the next diagonal line. 1 plus 2 is 3. Plus 0, still 3. The number here is only 0, so I'll bring it here. So in other words, I'm going to say that 152 times 21, I'm going to pick my answer starting from the top. Because this number is 0, I won't pick it. But if it is greater than 0, I'm going to pick it. So because it is 0, I won't choose it, but I'll come to this number and start from here. 3, 1, 9, 2. Giving me 152 times 21 as 3,192. Comparing to this method, you can see that we have the same answer. So when it comes to the multiplication with the lattice method, this is how we go about it. Let's look at the last example under the lattice method. Let's say we have 824 times 25. I'm using the lattice method. What will I have to do? The first thing I'm going to do is to draw my rectangular box nicely. So I have 824 this way, that way. Then 25 also this way. Then when I'm done, I'll create a diagonal line in each box. In each box, you are going to create a diagonal line. Then we just multiply, record, multiply, record. 2 times 4, 8. No tens, so 0. 2 times 2, 4. No tens, so 0. 2 times 8 is 16. With 16, that is my ones, this is my tens. So it says 1 should be here, 10 should be there. So ones, tens, giving me 16. 5 times 4 is 20. So ones, tens. 5 times 2 is 10. So 0, 1. That is ones and tens. 5 times 4, 5 times 8 is 40. So 0 and my 4. When you are done, you add the numbers diagonally. This, and that. The number here is only 0, so I'm going to write it. In this diagonal, I have 8 plus t plus 0. 8 plus 2 plus 0 will give me 10. This 10, I'm not going to write all the 10 here, but rather I'll record the ones column. And this 1 becomes a remainder to the next diagonal. So plus 1. So this becomes 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. I'm going to record it here. Then when I come to the next diagonal, I have 6 plus 4 is also 10. I'll record the ones column and the 10 becomes a remainder. Now I have 1 plus 2. 1 plus 1, sorry. 1 plus 1 will give me 2. So this is telling me that 824 times 25 is equal to, now because this number is greater than 2, I'm going to record it. It's greater than 0, I'm going to record it. So 2, 0, 6, 0, 0. And this will give me 20,600. So 824 times 25 will give me this using the lattice method. Thank you, viewers, for staying tuned to Easy Mathematics. Next week, see you again with a different substrand. Bye-bye.